Welcome to the Million Dollar Nugget Show. My name is Marty Dickinson with Here Next Year, also the founder of Speakers Speak Group on Facebook, Speakers Speak Live, and Speaker Theater. And I am happy to introduce to you Rocio Perez. Rocio, will you say hello to everyone? Just a little sound check.
Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure, Marty, always to be here with you. And you're just amazing. You're a ball of fire. Thank you for having me here today.
Rocio is one of the most energetic, lively people that I've ever met, and I cannot wait to get into this topic. Let me introduce it. So here's the deal. We are talking to professional speakers and people who are thinking about getting into professional speaking. That is always my main topic. And the top three things that we discuss on Make Money Speaking with Lois Kramer on Clubhouse is always about income streams and aftercare and mindset. Today, we're putting all three of those together, and I needed someone that could talk to all three of those, and Rocio is the person. Her book is called 7 Steps to Becoming a More Intentional Leader. She's a keynote speaker, a leadership trainer, and creator, which is what we're going to talk about a little later. She has delivered thousands of inspiring and life-changing leadership trainings, keynotes, and presentations from Switzerland to San Francisco. I love this line, over 50,000 people she has helped. Rocio is an unapologetic optimist and sought-after speaker of truth, who has more than 20 years of experience providing powerful insights that have helped to transform leaders around the world. She recently created the Mindshift Game to help people take more courageous, consistent actions, build their confidence, expand their vision, and step into their power and elevate their energy. What a mouthful that is.
That is.
So let's backtrack just a little bit here. Where did you, and I just want to really pick up where you got the idea for the game. So you're out there doing all this speaking, your book came out. When did the idea come up that I really need to put all this into a game format?
This is fascinating. I started over a decade ago, Marty, thinking of the idea of what is it that makes people successful? What makes them tick? What excites them? What puts them on a completely different level? And throughout the last decade, I was putting information together, setting it aside for an extraordinary project. And it was during COVID that this was born, where I said, okay, now I have the time. I'm not running around airports and stages the way that I was. And it gave me so much amazing opportunity and time to be able to connect the pieces, connect the individuals. I spoke with my business partner. I said, okay, it is time now. Let's go ahead and bring this game out. And he was all for it. We ran with it. We put a group of 18 individuals from all over the country who are extraordinary in their fields. And that's where the Mindshift Game came from. And now we're about to launch it, and it's going to revolutionize the world of leadership. It's going to change the world of people and what they do with it. And that's what's exciting.
So describe for me exactly what someone does in this game.
Well, it's fascinating. First of all, here's the box. It's the game that makes you a winner on here. It's a beautifully embossed. This is our executive program on there. What the game does is that people wake up in the morning and they start to align to their vision. That's the most powerful time, is right there early in the morning. Start to align to your vision, decide what it is that you're going to do. You meditate, you get yourself to center, figure out what are the most amazing things, right? Then right after that, we have a guided meditation, and we do it in a group setting as well on Mondays. And then you have a deck of cards that has the categories of courage, confidence. You're going to love this one because you're such a visionary. Vision. We've got power. And we have, of course, energy, because we both possess energy. We're like the Energizer Bunny on steroids. You take one category at a time, 1 week at a time, 3 cards a day. After you do your meditation, then you decide, you reflect upon it and say, okay, what would I do in this particular arena. Let's suppose that we're taking category of courage. I am moving forward with courageous actions now. What does that mean? I have 3 goals. What am I going to do with those particular goals for that particular day? And then start documenting, challenging myself. And then I have a beautiful journal that I get to write it in and track my progress in there and see what it is that I get to do. It is a game that can be played by yourself. It could be played with other friends. It could be played with an entire community. What you're doing is you're tracking along the way as you're taking actions. The name of the game is bold action. The more bold action you take, the faster that you get to your goals. And then we have a beautiful scorecard where you get to track and you get to literally see, who have I been during this process? How are things working out for me? And then you have a game board that comes with it that you get to move a peg, because the game is played in 8-week rounds. And now you move your peg over from confidence. You made it all the way through there. You're going on to vision, so you get to see it. And then you come all the way into adaptability, because we know better than anyone, those who adapt succeed. And then you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor at the very end of the game. At the very end of the 8-week round, you get to see, who have I become? And are my goals in alignment with what I want to do now? And I would say 9 times out of 10, Marty, it really helps us fine tune who we are and where we're going and what we're really passionate about. It weeds out all the junk, because we know what that's like, right? There's so much noise out there. Come back into presence.
So have you played this game yourself? I mean, you developed it, but have you been your own guinea pig to go through the process?
I have. As a matter of fact, I took this idea from all the clients that I was working with. Some days, both men and women would walk in. For instance, this gentleman walked in. He had sold 3 businesses, successfully sold 3 businesses. And then he lost his confidence. So this is why each of those categories is important. Some people lost their vision. Some people lost their courage. Some people lost their power in that. And that's where I put it together. The second part is, and I'll answer that question in just a moment. I had a woman walked in once who had lost it all. Literally, she had cancer. She had lost her business. She was on the verge of losing her marriage. Her kids were not behaving. Like, everything that can go south went south. And in 2 hours with this formula, she walked out like Wonder Woman. Like,
Wow.
can you imagine somebody walks in and they're like depleted, defeated, deflated. And all of a sudden they're walking out in their power, being in their power. Have I played the game? Many times over. When I first started playing the game, week 1, day 1, I scored 18 points. 18 points. Okay, mastery is hovering around 86 plus. Okay, 18 points. By the end of week 1, I was scoring 36 points. Okay, so you could only imagine, it took me roughly a year to get into mastery, a little less than a year. I got into the mastery level and I hovered there. It's like I've been consistent with my new way of being. Marty, it takes 360 days to make a shift, to instill that new pattern where you're on autopilot. And I've had many people play along with this particular game. So we've been playing versions of this game for well over a decade. And all I did this time around is that I put it into this particular game so that anyone can have it at their fingertips. They don't need to go hire Rocio for $60,000 to do coaching. You can go ahead and do your own coaching. Of course, you can plug into our community and get additional support.
Yeah. Well, let's get into that a little bit, because again, our audience here are almost all professional speakers, and they're seeing day by day venues or they're changing from being in person to going virtual again, and we're all longing for the day that it will be consistently at least hybrid, but for now they're going back to virtual. So a lot of speakers are saying, gosh darn, if I can't travel and do speaking, I'm going to have to find some kind of other additional income stream. So how could something like producing a game become in income. And I'm not even talking about the Mindshift game right now, but how can just creating a game like this add to somebody's income stream?
Well, tremendously. It gives you extraordinary exposure. You're no longer selling yourself, you're selling a product, right? Because sometimes we come across people and they're like, I'm not sure I like that person, right? And we don't want to buy from them, or we don't have the money, or we don't do this, that, the other. A game is so much more accessible to people. They look at it, they resonate with it. People come up to me and say, oh, I put the game, Marty, on the table. Before I even sat down, I've been asked, where do I buy this game? Plain and simple as that. And that to me is the joy, the excitement, where I can say, hey, here's something that can help you right here. I put these tools carefully thought through with every single member that we have. And here is a result. Here's the fruits of our labor, the product of our being. And people are responding to it extraordinarily well. They get to come in and say, hey, I want this. So it's an extension of us, and people will buy the game even while we sleep. And that's the beauty of it, right? When we have a game, we can be marketing it, put it on autopilot, and it sells while we sleep, versus we being jumping up and down like the Energizer Bunny in front of audiences. It's going throughout the internet. It's meeting people where they're at on their own time zones. And let me tell you, I work across 16 different time zones at a minimum. And knowing within that, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to work with individuals on their time.
So tell me about support. What have you had to build for your own infrastructure for support of this game?
Well, most definitely. I have been piloting communities again. I started this a decade ago. And one of the things, so people don't have to go through all the trials and tribulations that I went through, one of the things that I felt was a community into that. And we meet once a week on Monday, 6:30 a.m. Mountain Time. We meditate together, we celebrate together. People leave from there feeling fully energized, because people want the creator to be part of it, right? Who's going to walk me through it? It's not just a product that I buy it and nobody's there to support me. That's what we're there for. I'm there. That is my commitment, to be here to support our community so that they can move forward. And we can play in many different ways. Anyone that purchases the Mindshift game will have access to the Mindshift game community. Bottom line, and you have access to it on Facebook. Edit that one, right? You'll have access to it on Facebook, and then I'll do the live on Facebook on Mondays, and then you get to engage with other people there. There's naturally leaders that emerge out of that you can connect with, as well as if you want to go ahead and take it to another level, because there's always another level, right?
Sure.
When I started with you from a speaker perspective on Zoom, and you did amazing to coach me in that aspect. So there's always another level. Then we have the membership site. Inside the membership site, that's where we have additional affirmations, recorded guided meditations that you don't even have to think about. Like, how many times do we sit down to meditate and we're like, what happened? It's like, there's a squirrel, there's a noise, something happened. And that's happened to me many, many times over. And that's the beauty of it, that we can go ahead and shift who we be in that moment and just really focus. It's something that I've thought out for such a long time. And I've created this meditations over and over again for my clients. Just to give you an example, if anyone comes to me, it ranges from $1,500 to $2,500 for one meditation. For a nominal fee, you get to have these meditations inside of the membership site. How beautiful is that? You don't have to go around and make that investment even for an entire year. You're making a one-time investment once a year, depending on the package that you get. And you get to tap into that. You get to tap into the leadership master classes. Imagine you're tapping into the leadership master class of courage for that particular week that you're working on. And you get to do that. And then we take it to another level. There's people who want to say, okay, Rocio, but I want you to be there to answer those questions. Perfect. Now we have a live session where you can come in, and we'll do those live leadership master classes where you can ask all the questions that you want to ask within that time period and get real-time support. There's a lot of different ways to play. Again, there's the game by itself. Everybody is included in the community. Second, there's a membership site. And third is the live coaching.
Right. Great. Okay. So that provides the framework of what kind of support should be required if someone goes out and decides to make their own game. That's a great example of what you have assembled. Let's talk a little bit about packaging. You showed the box that you have that you'll be sending out to people. How did you go about creating that?
Oh my, well, I have one of the most amazing branders, and he is one of the most extraordinary people, globally renowned. He's an Emmy Award winner, and he was the one who created this brand. He's the one who brought it to life. We decided what the name would be, and he took it, ran with it. We started to mastermind the idea. What I would say, if you have one place to invest your money into, or maybe two places. One, invest it into your branding and marketing. And two, invest it into your content. You want to make sure that you deliver the best content possible. We went through revision after revision until we felt we had it right for our audience, because it's about us meeting the needs of the individuals. When we piloted the community, although we had been doing this work for quite some time, I've been doing this one for almost 24 years prior to putting a game together. So I've been in that area of coaching. So I know what makes people tick. And I can see it when they reach another level instantly. Even from being a speaker in the audience, I can see when people are popping up like popcorn. I'm like, they've got it. There's a shift, there's a shift, there's a shift.
Right.
I would say those are two places to definitely invest your time and money, would be into marketing and branding and into your product.
And how about distribution? Did you have to make 10,000 copies of this box all stored in your house someplace? Or what?
Right. No, it's in my garage.
Yeah, right. No, that's better.
Right. Here's the beauty of it. In today's day and age, it's not necessary to be storing a million things of anything, or even 10,000. Take your pre-orders, order it, send it out, have some on hand. And that's being very strategic. I remember when I launched my first book, people were telling me, my advisor said, Rocio, you just go ahead and order maybe 20 copies. And I'm like, no, I'm going to order 100. Why would I order 20? Because if I ordered 20, that's going to limit me to 20 customers. And let me tell you, I had people who even struggle with the price that I had on my book. And I'm like, okay, it's worth 25 at a minimum.
Right.
Because for somebody to come and hire me for 1 hour, it's upwards of, $1,000 an hour. $25 isn't anything, right? I paid $25 at Starbucks just hanging out for one afternoon, right? Know where your money goes, and know that your greatest investment is always you.
That's
you don't
great.
need to go buy a million copies. Buy enough, and time will tell you. And then also, as part of the marketing, build your community. Be having interviews like people like you, extraordinary individuals who can come in, and you can leverage that. You can support them. They can support you, whatever that is. Get out there. Get out there before you need the network, because most people build the products or the services or the business, and then they go try to find the audience. No, I have the audience. All we do is plug and play now.
That's such great advice. And the next step, of course, is that if you don't want to make your own game, all you have to do is become an affiliate for the Mindshift game. That's what we were talking about last week, is that you're coming out with an affiliate program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so definitely in our affiliate program, for those individuals who want to use it, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a speaker, whoever you are, consultant, and you see the opportunity and you want to recommend it to your clients, you will definitely get a compensation for that, for your contributions into that in the future, in addition to that. So we're looking for individuals that are committed, who have a great heart, and their intentions are extraordinary to help humanity, because everything we do is about helping humanity. So coming around in the very near future, we will be licensing for people to become trainers of the Mindshift game, to be able to bring it into their communities. There's people that want to bring it into homeless. Like, how amazing. People that have such a big heart, they want to make an impact in their communities. They're bringing it out to single women, parents, individuals in rehab. We're going to see this game everywhere, Marty, because there's a lot of people on a global scale that are committed to that being that happening. As a matter of fact, one individual jumped on this morning who's very globally known, and you'll see what I'm talking about in the next few weeks.
That's awesome. So, I mean, here we are. This is September 23rd, and this is not yet a released product. I can't go buy this and have it shipped to my house yet, can I?
You can pre-order it.
Oh, I can pre-order. Awesome.
You can
Okay, tell us
pre-order
about that. How do we do that?
Be a mug. So you come over, you can text me, call me, email. Let me go ahead and give you my number. It's 303-587-8367. And I'll do the radio one, right? 303-587-8367. You can look at me up on LinkedIn, send me a message there. You can send me a message at rocio@inventivaconsulting.com anytime. And that's the beauty of it, that we can go ahead and pre-order it. Our goal in this first phase, Marty, get this, is to sell 500,000 games.
Wow, in phase one.
In phase one, to sell 500,000 games. Okay, we want
pretty assertive.
500,000 people in this first phase. Okay, there will be other products that will be coming on, and we will be releasing it. The first release is in English. We will release it in Spanish and then French.
That is so awesome. Now, I know there are a lot of speakers out there who talk on the topic of mindset. My question is about how can we inspire them to align with you? Because so many mindset speakers have their own coaching program. They'll have their own meditation system. They'll have their own journaling suggestions for people. Do you recommend that they continue to do that? Or is it a better idea to join forces and align with you and take over the world?
Definitely. Let's go ahead and move out of kids. Let's take care of the world and take it over together, right?
Yeah.
And here's the beauty of it, Marty, is that a lot of people can align, you know, whether they find it's the synergy in there, that their heart must be in it. And that's the beauty of it. Does it feel right? You know, we've put in so much time, energy, resources. I've been doing this for 26 years. Consistently for 26 years, watching people have what makes them tick. I've taken individuals who are homeless to literally in one session walk in and get the job over people who had the time, the energy, the money, the resources, the experience, and the networks. If you can do that, you know, and that's a testament to also their will to be able to take those tools and make it happen for themselves, right? I've worked with individuals who are inside of a prison, to the CEO of companies who have built companies, made 70 million, lost it, 10 million, lost. And I'm talking about people all over the world at all levels who manage from one person to 5,000 people. It's all different. So what I would say, if there's somebody who really wants to find a system that's already tried and true, you don't need to go break your head and make it difficult. I've already looked at the good, the bad, the ugly, tested, tracked, and tweaked. I've specialized from 0 to 8, and I would say 0 to 80. And I've presented on a national and international level in this type of work. So there's already a system that works, and a system that we're also not piecing together, because some of our clients that came to us, they were piecing a system together. And they would come to me and say, Rocio, I don't know why this isn't working. I'm saying, well, I don't know why it's not working. You've only been with me for 3 weeks.
Right.
And yes, there must be some subtle shifts. What's going on? What are you doing? And go to find out that they said, well, I've been doing these affirmations and it's always constant. And I'm talking about a doctor. Okay. I've been doing these affirmations. I've been doing my work. And I said, okay, I want to listen to your affirmations. Marty, I was shocked. I get chills from head to toe, just remembering that moment where that doctor, after listening to the affirmations, that 70% of the affirmations were mapping them negatively.
70%?
70%. Okay. And this is a great example right here. I'm going to give you an example. It's like some people like, I want to be debt free, right? Okay. You're still thinking of debt. Just like I would say, do not think about the pink elephant, Marty. Do not think about the pink elephant. Are you thinking about the pink elephant? Maybe you're thinking about the blue elephant. We cannot not do something. See, the mind focuses on whatever it hears. And when I say, hey, Marty, you're doing a great job, keep moving forward, that's a different statement than not doing something. Well, we've already tried it. We've already looked at it. I looked at so many different modalities. Inside of the system, there's 10 different modalities plus in there. So it's been highly researched. Every single word in this game has been highly researched in its efficiency to be able to connect with individuals at that level, that it's mapping them and they're getting something extraordinary out of it.
Oh, that's great. So let me just, we're getting to the end of this because I like to respect your time, and I know there's more. There's always more,
There's
and that
always-
always is a great lead in to just contact Rocio if you want more, because there needs to be a conversation at whatever level, multiple levels with this. But I just want to kind of, I want you to comment on a little micro aspect of this topic of mindset. There are a lot of people out there that still, after so many years, they hear the word meditation and journaling and they just turn off. What do you say to those people specifically that are in that that mindset that, you know, this is just kind of pie in the sky frou-frou stuff, and yeah, I don't have time for any of this. I just have to get to work, man. I just need to dig in and work hard.
My wish is for people to invest the time in themselves. We all have 30 minutes a day. It is not about time management. It is about priority management. And our greatest investment is ourselves, not somebody else. We must be those auto nourishers. And here's the secret, Marty. None of us was born with an instruction manual. This is an instruction manual. Okay. This gives us an opportunity to be able to take our life from where we're at to where we want to be. In a matter of weeks, we will start to see ourselves shift. And I know a lot of people think that meditation is foo-foo, but isn't a vacation too? When we think about a vacation, we start to get excited. We start to, pack and think of all the things, even our work. We collapse time. We complete things that we would have never completed in months, in days or weeks, right? And that drives us. This is what meditation does as well. It starts to really tap into the positivity. As we become adults, we start to disconnect with the magic that creates worlds. We stop to disconnect from that. And imagine if we start to go back into that playfulness, if we start to go back into that vision, if we start to take that courageous action, as we start to do what is uncomfortable, it seems uncomfortable sometimes, and I've been there, trust me, I've been there. I am like the #1 user of my product because of that, right? I started off, and I'll share 2 minutes about that. I grew up in extreme poverty and abuse of all kinds. As a matter of fact, I contemplated suicide at 5. Like, how bad does life have to get?
At 5?
At
Wow,
5,
I didn't know that one.
I thought I would run in front of a semi and something stopped me.
My
The
goodness.
vision of a better life stopped. I get chills from head to toe right now. And to think of a child thinking of that. Things were so bad, Marty, that by the time of 12, I decided to run away. I knew that either I'd live or die. And fast forward, I was pregnant at 14. Can you imagine that? I had gotten into drinking, smoking, partying, just to numb the pain. And at 14, I was pregnant. And when you think that things can get really bad, at the age of 25, I was in a car accident that almost landed me in a wheelchair. It was my will. It was what I put into this game that allowed me to see my future at a different level. By the time I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer. And then again at 34. When you and I met, I had been diagnosed with cancer. Being able to get through all of that is a gift. And that is what is being offered here, that anyone can do it. Let's do what's uncomfortable. Yes, it is uncomfortable sometimes. Have that will, have that courage. You will start to own power beyond your belief. And I promise you, when you immerse yourself and you do this over and over again, I promise you that in 1 year, your life will be unrecognizable.
In a good way. A very good and positive way.
Yes, I have people that come to me and say, Rocio, Under this process, they just didn't have the physical game. Under this process, in 10 months, and they will be the ones to tell you that they've had more success in 10 months than what they had in 30 years.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, so that's really the takeaway here, is that the Mindshift game is not just about plotting a course and taking it. It seems to me like it's about acceleration too. Because when you were talking about, I keep thinking about when you said that you got 18 points the first week, right? And then some time went by and you got, like, I think you said 32 points, something like that. That
Yes.
I sensed in your voice, because I haven't played the game yet. I don't know what points means yet, but it sounded to me like with your excitement, it was about acceleration. That if you hadn't been playing that game, things still may have happened, but it would have taken 2, 3, 4 times as long. Is that correct in
That
my
is correct. It
assumption?
is, because it's a lonely world. Let's be honest, right? When you're an entrepreneur or you're a solopreneur,
Yeah,
whatever it is, even as an entrepreneur with a team, who's guiding you? Who's supporting you? And
right.
then all of a sudden you're playing with Marty and you're playing with Jill and Mary and Kate and whoever, and you're like, what did you get? You know, like every day you're sharing your points and saying, hey, I scored 23 points today. Here's my bold action. Here are my results. Let me tell you one of my bold actions lately. Based on this game, I had lost a video crew that was going to cost us $15,000 to $20,000. I made a bold request for somebody to hire me, $10,000 to replace that. Okay, immediately. And I mean within minutes, an action that I wouldn't have taken 10 years ago, right? I'm not sure if I would have taken that 10 months ago, just to be that bold and say, hey, you know what? Would you hire me? Do you know somebody that would? This is my daily rate. Okay. And that's for a team of 4, right? And imagine when you come up and you're like really being bold and you're taking bold action after bold action every day. It's extraordinary.
Huh. Well, you are certainly a gift to the world. This game is going to be a gift to the world. And this is also a gift to people watching this who take advantage of this new thing that is going to be launched. Here we are in September of 2021. I want to make sure that is clear, because people might be watching this in February, March, April next year, and this product will be well underway by that point, and your invitation will still be available. By that time, you'll probably have the whole licensing thing figured out, and the certification and training, and being able to hold yourself out as a Mindshift game trainer. What a great thing to add to your product line, to your speaker offer that you're putting together. Multiple income streams are certainly the name of the game in the speaking industry. If you're only going from stage to stage to stage, that is a really difficult way to make a living as a speaker. And this is one that just, we bring it up often to make a game or make some kind of program, but to get into the nuts and bolts like this is very rare. And I just really want to thank you for being willing to go into those weeds with us and just kind of demonstrate what you've gone through to put this together. Because if you do it right, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of work. And it's going to take, what sounds to me is you have a partner with your branding friend that you have that ace in a hole to go to. I mean, how many people are that skilled at so many things? I know I'm not. I'm only good, really, really good at 1 or 2 things, and that's it. I have to hire other people to do other things. So my point is that you can go out and do this yourself and take the next year, 2, 3 years to put all this together, or you can just contact Rocio and just talk about your situation. She is one of the most open, giving people I've ever known, and she will have that conversation with you and see how this game can fit in to what you are doing as a speaker. So just in one last sentence, is there any wish that you have, particularly for the professional speakers out there, because you've been doing speaking for a long time too. What is your wish for them?
When we attempt to sell a product that we're not in alignment with, people will sense it. We must do the product. We must be the product, right? Because then we see it and we embody that who we be, and people gravitate towards that. Be authentic, be in alignment, do your own work before you ask others to do theirs.
Such great advice. Thank you for being here again. My name is Marty Dickinson with HereNextYear.com Speakers Speak group. Please go join that on Facebook if you have not already. Speakers Speak Live, where we practice speaking every Wednesday, and speakertheater.com, where you become the star of the show. Thank you again, Rocio, and we will see you in the next Million Dollar Nugget.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Marty. You are amazing. Thank you for the work that you do.